Hey everyone, we have a really special episode on Pop Trigger today, a sit-down interview with a filmmaker that inspires me to the core, also a conservationist, a biologist, a photographer, Rob Stewart. Thank you so much for being here. And some of our viewers actually may already be familiar with Sharkwater, which was a documentary that you did back in 2007.
Yep.
And that was a documentary that really did ignite a global movement to protect sharks. So now we have Revolution, which documents how to fight. Really, it's the fight to save our oceans and in turn to save mankind. So what drove you to do Revolution?
Releasing Sharkwater was a really beautiful experience for us because the public reacted and people fought for sharks and government policy changed. But I got the opportunity to travel the world and meet some of the world's top scientists and conservationists, and they said, what you're doing with sharks is cool, but you're missing the point. We're going to lose everything, citing studies that positioned the middle of the century in a world with no fish, no reefs, no rainforests, and 9 billion hungry people fighting over what's left. So it was pretty clear it wasn't just saving sharks, it was saving us.
It was saving us from extinction. And I think that's what surprised me too, because you hear that. You said the middle of the century. So that is us, that is our children, and of course, would there even be grandchildren because of that? So when you heard that and you said, okay, so now I'm going to do Revolution, and this turned out to be a 4-year adventure, and you went all over the world. Did you know that it would be a 4-year adventure?
It was really clear the movie we had to make with Revolution. It was the evolution of life and the revolution to save us. Because until people understand that it's life that gives us our food, our water, and our air, they're not going to care for it as much. So I wanted people to understand that there have been 5 mass extinctions in the past that have wiped most life off the planet, and that we're now inducing one of those right now, and we'll be part of it unless we do something drastic.
How did we even get into this position to begin with? And your documentary is inspiring because I feel empowered to evoke change and that we can do something and we can join this movement. But why are we here? Why? Why aren't we doing more?
We're here because we built some systems at a time when we had an infinite amount of everything. You know, a system of growth, a system of economy, a population explosion. And when we had a few 100 million people on the planet, it was fine. We could eat and consume as much as we want. But now that we're sitting here at 7 billion people and we've, eaten 90% of the fish and 75% of the forests, we've got to do something fast. And so we're just kind of catching up as a species. It's education that changes the world in every instance, because as soon as we understand a problem, our morals engage and we buy different things, we engage with different governments, and our humanity guides us to a world that works.
But how do we save our ecosystems that we are so dependent on for our survival?
Well, we know exactly how to solve the problem. Right now, every year we're wasting 40 billion pounds of fish, for example, that are brought out of the ocean, killed, and thrown back because they weren't our target fishery. If we changed some fishing practices, you'd employ more people, fish would become a little bit more expensive, but we wouldn't be killing these animals.
Right.
If you created some marine protected areas in the ocean, protected maybe 10% of the ocean, the life that existed in there could repopulate the rest of the oceans, and we could continue to feed ourselves from the oceans. If you captured carbon by farming properly, we could pull most of the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and stop acidification and stop the impending extinction.
Yeah.
So we know exactly how to do it. We just need to get involved as citizens and push our government over the edge.
How is that not enough to start worldwide legislation to really make sure that we protect our ecosystems?
It is enough, for sure. It's just the public is largely unaware of it right now. And that's why we made Revolution, is to give people the biggest issue on the planet in an hour and a half of entertainment so that they can educate their friends and their family.
And it is entertaining. At age 9, you were swimming with sharks. By age 14, you were photographing the underworld. As a 9-year-old, how does that even come about?
Being a dorky, nerdy kid, falling in love with the ocean was a big part for me. And underwater, none of my oddities, applied. I could fly in the underwater world, and there were all these crazy species. And I got to spend a bit of time in the Caribbean growing up. And I met my first shark when I was 9. And in 3 seconds, my whole world changed, because the shark was afraid of me.
Oh.
And every shark I met after that was afraid of me as well, which just fascinated me and made me wonder, what else is there in the world that we've been taught to fear.
Thank you. That's the misconception, and that's why I think it's really important for people to see Sharkwater.
What drove me to do Sharkwater was finding out that shark populations had dropped 90% and that no one noticed because everyone was afraid of them. And I tried to get the word out using magazine articles and newspapers, and it didn't work because I couldn't give people the visceral reaction. And with movies like Jaws that are so amazing and present sharks as so terrifying, I kind of needed to combat that with something emotional and something evocative. And I thought if I could bring people through a movie, I could show them sharks through my eyes and make them see the reality.
And you did. You definitely did. Trust me. Please watch it, you guys. And then also, so from age 9 till now, you've traveled all over the world and you've interacted with pretty much every single species out there. Do you have any moments that stick out?
All the time. On Sharkwater, being underwater at an undersea volcano in the middle of the Pacific, surrounded by 500 hammerhead sharks,
wow,
is a pretty awe-inspiring experience because you're flying with, extinct dragons and dinosaurs. It's kind of amazing.
Do you ever get scared though? Because you are, with wild creatures. I mean, you can't predict their behavior.
You can. You can't predict people because we've got things like jealousy and emotions and
right.
rage, but sharks have been doing the same thing for 450 million years. They'll try to eat you or mate with you, and that's it. And most of them have teeth shaped like needles and really can't eat something larger than their mouths.
Wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. And then also for our viewers, because I love to brag about our viewers because they're so much more sophisticated than I was at their age. And I'm always inspired reading their commentary because they're so thoughtful. So what can they do at home to also be a part of this movement?
Sharkwater is going to be released for free on the internet April 22nd on Earth Day. And Revolution releases April 22nd, and we're offering Revolution to anyone that wants to do good with it. So if you're sitting at home and you've got a charity or you want to save tigers or elephants or bears, you can sign up to be a Revolution affiliate on our website, push Revolution to your friends, keep half the money, and give it to your favorite charity.
That's amazing. What would you say to any one of our young viewers or anybody out there that also wants to kind of follow in your footsteps and be a conservationist, maybe become a biologist, and really help also evoke change?
This is the time of greatest opportunity in human history. Right now we are in the face of a crisis that we're going to tackle as a species, but it's big, so it's going to call out the best in us to tackle this. And any young person has an opportunity to be a hero for an ecosystem, species, for the future. Everything we love is in jeopardy right now, so pick something that you love and pick part of your talents and slam them together into a life of meaning where you can make the world a better place.
Again, I'm so happy to have you here today, and I strongly encourage everybody to please not only check out Revolution on Earth Day, April 22nd, but also Sharkwater. You'll be able to watch it for free, and we will provide all the links, everything necessary so you guys can be a part of this movement. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll see you guys all next time on Pop Trigger.
We can change something if we work together worldwide. So let's do it.